doesn't screw up, looks really good. Everyone around him is fantastic. Doesn't screw up, looks really good. Everyone around him is fantastic. Tonight I wanna be like Joe. Tonight I wanna be like Joe. Torre. Torre. Yeah, he looks really good. Doesn't screw up. Everyone around him is fantastic. And unlike when it's Jackie Mason, and unlike when it's Ruth Westham, and unlike when it's Eartha Kitt, I don't mind when he comes on in the cab. Torre. Tonight I wanna be. There's not too much to ask. Tonight I wanna be Torre. Look good, don't screw up. Make sure everyone around you is fantastic. While waiting for Van Gogh to come and paint my street. While waiting for Van Gogh to come and paint my street, I made sure the canals were clean and the cobblestones shine. I repaired the broken pieces, but still Van Gogh didn't come and paint my street. So I figured till he did, I better go get some paints and brushes, and I stretched some canvases over some wooden frames, and I got some wooden shoes and some really good hash, and I went outside and started. First I did the cars with their blistered shining screaming, and then I did the cats and flea collars streaming, and I did the houses and the fences and the cowards, and I did the blue prayers and the yellow golden death, and I did the orange firemen and the senators with guns, telling everyone who'd listen that injury is bad but death is okay, 'cause injury costs money but death does not. While I waited for Van Gogh to come and paint my street, something is definitely happening tonight. I don't care nothing about nothing past tonight. Waiting for Van Gogh to come and paint my street. Yeah, waiting for Van Gogh to come and paint my street. I had a lot of time, 'cause he took his sweet time. So I had a lot of time, so I read every book in the whole damn house. And I read all the neighbors' books, and then all the books in the whole damn town, and then all the books in the whole damn county, and then all the books except for the books in India, 'cause for some reason I resisted learning Hindustani, but then I got over it and learned Hindustani. So now I've read all the books in the whole world, so I thought I'm getting kind of bored with nothing left to read, so I figured that I better try to write one of my own. So I started writing something, but wasn't really happening happening, so I went with a prostitute. Did it for 100, but it wasn't as good as I thought it would be, 'cause it felt really clinical, like going to the dentist. First we did the numbers and the prices and the times, and when I got home I felt a little dirty, but not so horrible. So I started kind of scribbling, and I wrote down a title and my features and my colors, and I wrote down my mother and the corn and the rumblings, and finally there wasn't really nothing left to say. So I wrote down the end, and I looked out the window, but he still wasn't there. So I went and had a cupcake while I waited for Van Gogh to come and paint my street. Something is definitely happening tonight. I don't care nothing about nothing past tonight. Waiting for Van Gogh, waiting for Van Gogh, waiting for Van Gogh to come and paint my street. Waiting for Van Gogh to come and paint my street. So it's nice just waking up here, you know, and not having to like spend my whole day getting here and then play. Just wake up. And I thought, God, you know, it'd be cool to live here. But I don't know.
Where do you live?
I don't. But I grew up in a real, like, rural place, you know? Like, there was space everywhere. And when I go back there now, it feels kind of confining. Because it's not like, when I was a little kid, I thought it was. When I go to, like, Montana or something like that, then it feels like, this feels like Iowa when I was a little kid, you know? It felt that big. New York, kind of cramped. If you get a room or something, you know, it's like, okay, this is where I hang this stuff. Where's the room? I like it, you know. I always liked it here. I don't know why, but I do, you know. So it's nice to come and play here. I'm just gonna shut up and play. She said, love, love, love is everything. I said, okay, I guess, whatever. She said, what does that mean? I said, nothing. It's just good to have a backup plan. She said, I guess that means you don't got love. I said, maybe I love everyone. She said, that's the same as loving no one. I said, okay, fine, whatever. And I had a dream of a new American language, one with a little bit more Spanish. And I had a dream of a new pop music that tells the truth with a good beat, some nice harmony. I had a dream.
eso.
I said, okay, and I guess I don't. Tourist towns can be a drag sometimes. Yeah, but in the non-tourist towns, you can get beat up. Just for looking a little different. I guess maybe the thing to do is just to stay home. Oh, but sometimes I think the thing to do would be to get a place way out in Missouri. Put down as many months rent as you can part with. Tell everybody else they went to France. I said, remember that conversation we had about love? I said, I think that you were right. She said, I don't remember saying nothing about love. It must have been a fantasy of the moment. I dreamed Michelangelo on that ceiling, working through the weekend to make more money. I dream of replacing Steve Kerr on the Bulls, being the little white guy that shoots the threes. I dream of George in the Mafia, and whether people like me is unimportant. I dream of your Clyde radio, waking you up with my song. I dream of a should have written her a note, say she still had my vote. I should have let her know that I still loved her so. But I waited, too long. Now I stand before you all just to remind you all that pride goes before a fall. Pride goes before a fall. If you don't want love to quit, you gotta take care of it. I saw the warning signs, but I had so much time. And I waited, too long. Now I stand before you all just to remind you all that pride goes before a fall. Pride goes before a fall. There's nothing you can do when it's gone. So think about the foolish thing you did and didn't do when it was bad. I thought I was so strong. Why did I wait so long? My toughness for the world passed on to her instead. And I waited too long. Now I stand before you all just to remind you of all that pride goes before a fall. Pride goes before a fall. Like most American men, I'm a little messed up about sex. Does size really matter? Should I be checking out other guys? But if I do, does it mean I'm gay? Like when I went to Italy and I went to the Statue of David, maybe I stared at it too long. And what about the size of breasts? Does size matter there? And do I really like a lot of silicone over and above a little milk? And while I'm a subject of sex, what do I think about Viagra? I mean, even though I seem to function okay there, is this something that I ought to try? If everybody else is gonna take it, do I need to take it just to stay competitive? But I like when everybody suddenly switched to a tennis racket with a really big head. Suddenly the great Bjorn Borg, it wasn't only beatable, but wasn't much better than most American men, than most American men. Like most American men, I think about sports a lot. It's the one time I can get close to a lot of really good friends of mine. We talk and yell and slap hands. rumble each other's hair, pat each other on the butt, say something like, Sammy, you the man, I love you. And pour over scores and statistics, like medieval biblical scholars. And I'd walk into a bar and start watching some kind of game. And I'll start talking to a black guy, or a Mexican, or a Japanese. And we're talking and crying and slapping, all because of Michael Jordan. Cause I wish I could fly like most American men, like most American men, like most American men. I don't know what to do about Japan, or what to do with Somalia, or where Somalia is, for that matter, where's Rhode Island. The morals are mostly determined by whoever I'm sleeping with, like most American men, like most American men. Like most American men, I don't know how much money is enough. Sometimes I think I got enough. Other times I think enough is just a little bit more than I got. Maybe if I had a little more, I'd think more about the world. If I had something to protect, maybe if I had a little more dough, I'd think about politics some more. Maybe if I had a little bit more dough, I'd do better with the girls. Take them out and treat them nice. And I look really good when I do. And you know we travel in style. And I take them to my really fine pad with a fridge and a really big bed. I lie there smoking cigarette, eating candy, watching Jerry Springer. I don't think it's too much to ask to get what I think I deserve, like most American men, like most American men. Like most American men, I'd change my whole life if I could. I'd get a really big house, I'd travel with a really fast crowd, I'd hang with the biggest women, I'd play tennis with Drew Barrymore, I'd know a lot of party tricks, I'd light matches on my boot. But you know, if I could change it all, it'd probably take a couple months, and my life would start to look a whole lot like it does now. It's kind of funny, kind of mundane, like most American men, like most American men, like most American men. True story. By convincing women I was a famous painter, I got them to pose naked for me last summer. You'd be surprised what people will do when you wear a beret and a long yellow robe and speak with an accent and carry an easel and a bag labeled paint and a paintbrush tied behind your ear. I told them my name was Pierre Auguste Ledouche. I painted while the record player played Scaramouche. I said, let's begin with a sketch of your douche, and go from there. I told them all I'm a direct descendant of Maurice Frederic Giuseppe Jean Umberto Ledouche. I said, if it makes you uncomfortable to take off your clothes, I'll remove mine as well. Sometimes worked. I said, I'll make you live forever, long after you split. With that, would you mind leaning over a bit? In the 23rd century, they'll want to see your tit really clearly. And that was the summer. 16 different women came over twice a week, took off all their clothes, while I smoked cigarettes and drank wine and said, "Beautiful," and smiled and pretended to paint. I had to remember to maintain an accent, but after a while I didn't even really have to think about it. The end of the summer was by far the hardest part, and to explain the destruction of these great works of art by fire, by flood, and by hooligans with darts. That's the trouble with a painting. Next summer, I tried sculpture instead. Beautiful. Down the steps, I slip on the ice. Santa Claus been looking, who's been naughty, who's been nice. I'm looking for one thing real. Comes up to me, Jesus, he sits down. He says, take this fucking cross off my back. I'm going downtown. I said, oh, but ain't that your uniform? He offers me a toke. He says 2,000 years is long enough for this particular joke. He says I'm looking for one thing real nice. And I'm up here singing these songs every night. Sometimes I want to just make them all up on the spot. Could do one about Bernie Williams. Maybe they wouldn't rhyme so good, and they might not make sense, but then at least I wouldn't be repeating myself. I'm looking for one thing real nice. And you're the one I've chosen, and I guess you've chosen me. Let's turn off the commercials. Let's turn off the TV. How well can we get to know each other in an hour? We can fight the daylight. We have that power. coke sits next to me with a bucket full of paste. He rips off my ear and says, glue this to my face. I'd like to leave America for someplace where they would not know a word of English, and I might be understood. I'm looking for one thing. They say you taught me how to talk. They wish you taught me how to stop. You're far away now as I could take a walk with you someplace. You explained me to our parents. English wasn't their first language. They spoke German, hated Germans. Confusing time. Oh, sister, down Midwest backseat Bombay streets, you sang my Beatles songs with me. I sang your Broadway melodies, bad harmony. And where would Willie Mays have been without Jackie Robinson? And who can say what I'd been without you to lead the way? After I saw some guys I could drink, you picked me off my lawn, I think, and led me to the kitchen sink where I got rid of it. Some nights I laid awake in awe as dark I saw you peeling off your teenage bra, the door slightly ajar. Oh, sister, you lived just across the hall for 18 summers, 18 falls, until you went away to that weird college in Wisconsin. And where would Willie Mays have been without Jackie Robinson? Who can say what I've been without you to lead the way? Trust yourself, you can do anything. This I give to you. May your heart purr like a bumblebee. May all your backyards have a tree. May you always be HIV negative. I hope you meet some nice guy who treats women better than I do. I don't even care if he's a Jew or not. Oh, sister, I remember in the temple hall at our dear father's funeral, he sang like a nightingale one of his own songs. And where would Willie Mays have been without Jackie Robinson? Who can say what I've been without you? Leave Hall of Fame without fail. Can you name the last good film Marlon Brando made while trying to keep his kids from going to jail? And the old people in the street are telling you don't become like me, but every day you breathe a little bit closer. And I guess you should have done like James Dean did, instead of putting on some weight, singing down, down, down. Easier to take if we just skinny street souvenir city and t-shirt down. And sometimes I wish I was smarter than I am, but I'm on my third city and I'm on my fourth car and I'm on my fifth apartment. So maybe in the day that's run, and now it's too late to crash, too late to burn, too late to die, too late to crash, too late to burn, too late to die. When Kurt Cobain blew out his brain, all the little girls, they cried like rain. And as for me, I felt the pain, but I got no t-shirts left to stain for Kennedy and Jesse James and Joan of Arc and Kurt Cobain. You can hear them crying down the lane from Portland to Maryland, from Greece to Spain. And as my life drips like coffee down the drain, my eyes dry up like a rusted chain. So Kennedy and Jesse James gonna have to cry for Kurt Cobain. It's a hard life and no one's to blame when God's not on the morning train. If Cain don't kill Abel, Abel kills Cain. Tears now shed are shed in vain for Kennedy and Jesse James and Joan of Arc and Kurt Cobain. There's 3 new roses growing in the lane. It was a long, hard winter, now there's rain. If you want my love, give me your name. Give me your hand, let me feel your pain before Kennedy and Jesse James. There's Joan of Arc and Kurt Cobain. here's what I'm gonna do. Send everybody over to China, except for me and you. And we'll strip ourselves naked, go to Beverly Center, watch movies and eat Cinnabon. I think I'm gonna like being king of the world for a change. They said as king of the world, you can have anything your greedy royal heart desires. I said, well, all I really want is some wide open space where I can set forest fires. I want peace and quiet. I want nudity. I want sex and wine and love. They said, so let it be written, Your Highness. So let it be done. I am a king of the world. Yes, sir. Could have been you, I guess. But it's me. Surprised you didn't hear about it. On the cover of George. November 1943. Well, as king of the world, I'd occasionally go over to China to visit all of you guys. You don't gotta be afraid. You don't have to bow down. Just God, after all. You wrote that one, I guess. Good though. You don't have to be afraid. I don't need you to bow down. I'm just God. Yeah. Well, it might be kind of nice anyway if you kiss my feet. Call me all-knowing leader of men. I mean, God will do too, but if you are king of the world, I know you want the same for yourself. I'm the king of the world. I am the king of the world. Hey, you're all over in China. You don't even hear this. Friday, I'm going down to Hannibal. I'm about to see the club, yeah. Hitler never hurt a soul. I read it in a book that I finished up just this morning. I was happy and I couldn't wait to tell the good news to all of my dead uncles. When they tore down the Berlin Wall, everybody danced. But between what I feel and what I say, there's a 30-foot barbed wire fence. I'm going down Hannibal. Well, by New City, disappear. Time begins to bend and shift. Maybe you haven't noticed. But just the other day, a man in Washington State admitted killing Jesus. I'm going down Hannibal. I'm about to see the fist. But I don't understand how it's just one kiss. You can wrap me around your finger. You can wrap me around your wrist. Everybody who's ever been alive is alive right now in Georgia. So the rest of us, I don't really know who we are. It's a mystery, I guess. You see, everything I know I learned off of my dad. He learned it all from his. And his dad just happened to be wrong about everything. I'm going down to Hannibal. I'm going to buy a new suit of clothes. I'm going to wear 3 neckties. You're going to hell with the bows. You're going to hell with the bows. You're going to hell with the bows. You're going to saw the best of my generation playing pinball. Maked up and caked up and looking like some kind of China doll. With all I made off Hitler's moves down cold as they stood up in front of a rock and roll band. And always moving upward and ever upward to this gentle golden promised land. With the smartest of them all moonlighting as a word processor, and the strongest of them all checking IDs outside saloons. And the prettiest of them all taking off her clothes in front of men whose eyes looked like they were in some little hick town near Omaha, watching the police chief run his car off the side of a bridge. Now some men with dreams like the ones I'd had, bed quarters outside the 7-Eleven, till it got so they didn't affect me any more than the mailboxes I'd pass up, that sometimes I'd put some in the mailbox. I'd had the wind in my back, now I felt it cold in my face. And for an awful long time now, you're the only one who ever called me late at night. And I never really noticed till after you stopped calling. And the emptiness Silence got so heavy. Broken up in the wasteland, broken up in the promised land, broken up in Disneyland, broken up in the plastic land, broken up in the wasteland, broken up in the wasteland, broken up in the wasteland. And I saw dead Marilyn Monroe strung up on every street corner in Hollywood like some two-bit whore offering a discount rate. And I wondered how Joe DiMaggio felt. I saw dead James Dean's ghost wandering the sidewalk looking troubled. And I wondered how his mama felt. So signs that said headshots done for cheap, signs that said extras wanted, top dollars paid, and signs for haircuts, and signs for manicures, signs for wardrobe specialists, and signs for tanning salons, and signs for cosmetic surgery, signs for assertiveness training, and I stopped to read them all. And every single block looked like every single block looked like every single block looked like every single block, but you kept driving. Because everyone else kept driving, because gridlock is evil, and not knowing your way is evil. Those who had money looked good, but weren't too happy. Those who didn't have money didn't look so good, and weren't too happy either. In the city of 3,269,984, everyone was lonely. Broken up in the wasteland, broken up in the promised land, broken up in Disneyland, broken up in the plastic land, broken up in the wasteland, broken up in the wasteland, broken up in the wasteland. And I saw it, looked on as everyone I knew spent their lives trying to be watched on a stage or watched in a film or listened to on a record, and they thought, maybe that way I can get a little love out of this life. I watched as the best of my generation abandoned their dreams, settled for making a little money. And I watched TV, read the papers and listened to the radio, made all the fancy scenes, said all the right words, wore all the right clothes, and knew the names of the hip people. But I still felt out of touch, so I stopped watching TV, reading the papers, listening to the radio, and making the fancy scenes, saying the right words and wearing the right clothes and knowing the names of the hip people. And I felt more out of touch than ever. I didn't care anymore. And I felt you slipping away. And I felt myself slipping from you. And I wanted more than anything else for it to rain for one whole day like it used to. But all there ever was sun, relentless sun, hot beating sun. And everyone wore their sunglasses and walked around like flies under magnifying glass with their eyes removed. Broken up in the wasteland, broken up in the promised land, broken up in Disneyland, broken up in the plastic land, broken up in the wasteland, 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 broken up in the wasteland. is a little sequel I wrote to that song. Like about the same time. I was living under the long Prey Avenue in Hollywood, which I was very proud of, because I found out that Bukowski lived on the same street at one time. I thought, cool. Because I wanted to be debaucherous. But, you know, I wasn't really doing anything. I thought, well, been living on the same street, that guy. We gotta get some debauchery through the grass. I'm gonna play the harmonica. Remember this was going to be a sequel?
Yeah.
I don't remember what the last one was anymore.
Play swoosh swoosh.
Decided I'm not gonna fight the sun this year. Gonna take its heat. With all good graces, taste the lemonade, look for shade. My body turning brown, and all of its other traces on. Decided to, I'm not gonna fight your love. Came into my heart like wind whipping the screen door, tied on a summer night by candlelight. You set me on pins and needles, took away my shoes and left me staggering round the town. You left me on pins and needles. Now won't you set me down? Now won't you set me down? Decided I'm not gonna fight the 20th century no more. Bought a TV and a VCR and a bigger car, and I killed 3 women in cold blood. And you and I somehow fought your love before, but I can't no more. Took me by the throat, shook me down like cops do the tougher parts of time. I'm waiting for a sign from you through the mail or the phone, or your sweet lips on mine. I only hope it's soon, so I can get back to other things in my life, like eating, sleeping, thinking of anything else but you. You set me on pins and needles, sugar in my shoes, and left me staggering round the town. You set me on pins and needles. Now won't you set me down? Now won't you set me down? I used to fight the passing of the day like you'd fight for the life of the mother and father. But some things you can't fight. No, some things you can't fight. You got me by the heart. You got me by the heart. You got me by the heart. And I'm waiting, hoping, needing, bending, praying. You set me on the needles, took away my shoes, and left me staggering round the town. You set me up in the needles. Now won't you set me down? Now won't you set me down? Now won't you set me down? Oh, won't you set me down? Thanks a lot. It's been great playing for you. I hope you had a good time. Great to come on stage and have people start screaming their children's names at you. But they're not really my children. I feel they belong to us all. Because I love you, I get tongue-tied around you. I never say smart stuff around you. I never say anything around you that would make you want to be with me. So because I love you, I will never be with you. There's plenty of other people who I always find the words for, that I got the sweet gift of gab for, that I'm magical and good for, because I do not love them all and want to be with me. Everything I say is true, so there's nothing we can do. But what the hell I say to you, let me have one dance with you. I recognize that look in your eyes when I see you. It's the look of one who loves you, who wants nothing except to be with you. It is not the look that often gets returned in kind. Same old day, ain't nothing new, ain't nothing so new. But what the hell I say to you, all Seems like names are not important, so if someone forgets your name, they're forgetting something intangible that has nothing to do with you. So it's stupid to feel bad if someone forgets your name. Why do all the rules I make but act around other people always fall by the wayside when I get around you? There ain't no more carrots too. Hello sky ain't never blue. That's a lie, but this is true. All I want's one dance with you. My bed done make my stuff askew. I ain't heard the dumbest clue. I just wanna squeeze on through by getting one old dance with you. Stick it while there's still some glue. Move that stuff while there's a crew. Before I stumble someplace new. Let me have one dance with you. Let me have one dance with you. Let me have one dance with you. Woody Guthrie puts a sign on his old guitar. Said, "This machine kills faster." Ani DeFranco, well, 'cause every tool is a weapon if you hold it right. I say, if you quit blinking those cameras at me, quit taping every damn thing I do, and at least, goddamn it, clear it with Alan beforehand. Maybe I'll be nicer to you. One dance with 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 you. One know every scale that's known to man. You got all the music in your fingertips with your tenor saxophone. You play, and the New York Knicks are playing with you too. First a little line, there's just a T, then the Sausalito for a serenade. Then into a 7/12 you fly, and the paintings on the wall are flying too. You got everything but words. You got everything but words. So here are two. So here are two. club in Prague, I saw Branford Marsalis. So there. Thanks a lot.
Please welcome Dan Bern.
Man, where were you? Where were you last set? I don't think so. Man, that audience, whoever those people were, they suck. Everything is moving, everything's in flux, every living thing is constantly having sex. Is this punk, or is this rock and roll? Well, maybe I'm Louis Armstrong singing that old jelly roll. Or maybe I'm Old Glory, flying at half-mast. Or maybe I'm a message from your forgotten past. Or maybe I'm a circus rolling into town. Grab a ticket, find a seat, the curtain's coming down. Someone says 10 seconds, I'm all alone. Down front the critics clean their teeth with sharpened ticket bones, and I get one song, and then I die. This ain't a school exam or the last plane before the hang. One song and then I die. I wish I had read more, memorized the right things. I wish I had had a teacher that knew exactly what to bring up to my attention, to impress upon my mind, so my ears would not get fuzzy and my eyes would not go blind. And I wish I knew my heroes, and that we could go for walks, and that we could sit for days on end, and I'd listen to them talk, and they'd say, get that guitar out, and I'd fire it up each time, and they'd laugh and open up my case and throw in all their dimes. And me, who never joined anything, never joined a health club, never joined the army, never joined with anybody at the hip, never joined a mutiny, never killed the captain of a ship. I know full well what I'm not. Got 3 minutes to figure out what I am. Before the lights go up, and I get one song, and then I die. Never seen the master of ceremonies as his lips curl out my name. One song, and then I die. One song, and then I die. One song, and I die. Peel me like an onion, never know what you might find. I could peel away, peel away, peel away for 13,000 years, and I could get to the bottom and find nothing. lover comes. And sometimes watching clouds roll by to reveal the perfect rhyme. And sometimes doing nothing for hours at a time. And sometimes painting my face blue like in a dream. Burning all the dead things, crying till I'm clean. For one song and then I die. Where are all those things I wrote? I was saving for the future. One song and then I die. 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 Take the best idea you got, scarling from your brain like cauliflower. Stick it in a microwave, leave it for a quarter of an hour. Write poems on the freeway, write screenplays in between submitting faxes. Draw pictures at the Wendy's drive-through window on your way to do your taxes. Because you're not a child, you're not a child. Days flash by like numbers on a TV dial. Forget that novel, man. Could be haiku is more your style. Making art on the run, art on the run, art on the run, art on the run, art on the run. Art on the run. Chopin with his Chevrolet digital machine, singing melodies while pumping gasoline. Picture Michelangelo with a briefcase and a beeper. When's the last time you had a really good night's sleep? Put your canvas by your car phone. Maybe been a sailboat after lunch. And he wrote a sonnet, one line every 2 days for a month. Finish up that story. You can get another napkin from the waiter. Stick some clay inside your glove compartment. Maybe you can sculpt a letter later. Shakespeare at the airport lobby drinking wine, calculating how to pay his rent on time. Pack a lunch, a liverwurst, and a half a dozen rhymes. Making art on the run, art on the run, art on the run, art on the run, art on the run. Mozart with his Casio and Walkman and his pen tries to write an opera before the phone pen ring again. Van Gogh painting greeting cards for a little extra cash. I'll finish that for later. I really have to dash. Making art on the run, art on the run, art on the run, art on the run, making art on the run, art on the run, art on the run. Enough with this throat singing already. If you wanna sing two notes at once, why don't you do like everyone else? Get a multi-track machine, lay it out separately, make a little harmony, maybe a bass track like one from the Rolling Stones. And none of this long lost art, this archaic stuff. Go out and buy something. Hey, if you wanna make some dough, you oughta invest in my company. We're putting barcodes on the fetuses using ultrasound, laser technology. We used to do babies, but some of them still got mixed up. This takes care of that. My love, go to sleep. We'll wake you tomorrow. My love, go to sleep. We'll wake you tomorrow. Tomatoes, chemically engineered, they come out square to fit in boxes. There's some people, chemically engineered, they come out square to fit in boxes. I'm sitting on the roof today, all by myself, not saying nothing. Goodbye. I'm sitting on the roof today, all by myself, not saying nothing. Goodbye. At this point in time, it'd be nice if we would all think of Josh Sawadik and his throat singing. He's building a house right now in British Columbia. Which proves he's a lot smarter than I am after all. Whatever. That's the end of the song. You know, there's a shadow back there. In the whole first set, every time I turned like this, I saw the shadow outside of the corner of my eye, and I always thought it was somebody up there on stage behind me doing stuff. But for some reason, I didn't like have the whatever to just. It's like there's nothing there, just my own shadow. There's a lesson there for you. Being a performer, the whole thing is we got to go through this stuff for you. And that's something right there. So I wasn't sure what I was doing, just kind of doing a couple of weeks all by myself. I thought, it'll be easy. I've done it for a while. It'll be relaxing. I'll drive myself around. Just me and my van, go to places, do shoot 2 shows a night, night after night. Be really relaxing. I'm just fucking dog tired. I'm so tired. But I think there's probably another reason. That I think every now and then just to mark time for myself, It's like you can mark time by Hallmark time, Like when their cards decide they should come out, Or you can mark time yourself, just sort of your own internal rhythm. That seems better. At least for me it seems better. So I think I mark time by every now and then going out and playing some shows just by myself. It's like an end of something and a beginning of something else. I don't usually know what, but it just happens. So I thought I'd do some songs from the records that have come out, because I usually don't. I thought I'd do a few. out to get me after all. What's it sound like? Let's face it, all my songs sound pretty good. Categorize me, love me with the others, if that's the way you wanna play. You can say it the way it's been, it's exactly the way that it's gotta be, and it'll make you feel right, if you gotta feel right. But if you're willing to look truthfully, I think you'll see that, babe, I'm not the guy who hurt you many years ago. I'm not the guy, I'm not the guy, I'm not the guy. Babe, what are you seeing when you look in my eyes? Maybe someone from a magazine, is someone who hurt you. You don't gotta explain it. I used to read that magazine myself, but last night in the kitchen, yeah, I canceled my subscription, yeah. And maybe you'll believe me, baby, when I say that you don't need to carry yours around anymore. 'Cause I'm not the guy, I'm not the guy, I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy who made you come into a sound. I'm not the guy who threw your heart against the wall. I'm not the guy who took care of you for a weekend stay. I'm not the guy who loved you, babe, and took his love away. I'm not the guy, I'm not the guy, I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy who made you hide his wedding ring. I'm not the guy who disappeared after the spring. I'm not the guy who made you feel like all he did was lies. I'm not the guy who loved you, babe, who kept his fingers crossed. I'm not the guy, 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 I'm not the guy. I'd never seen someone so live on TV before. Do you remember Monica screeching on her back ends, disguising herself when she went out at night, coloring her hair like something was telling her lay low, invisible and out of sight. And then Monica, blade came Monica, like God spitting on you, a knife in your back. We read it in the paper, then moved on to other things, but for you, all the colors fade to black. And oh, Monica, there you are, Monica, on the cross with Jesus and Martin Luther King. Just like John Lennon by that hotel, you have to pay for our sins. Was it like being raped? Was it like being dead? Like a bad movie over and over again. And then did everyone who came close to you suddenly hold a knife in their hand? And now you're back, Monica, grim and hammering, trying not to think about that thing there. And I hope you win everything you can win, but it might not be much fun again. And oh, Monica, there you are, Monica, on the cross with Jesus and Martin Luther King. Just like John Lennon by that hotel, you have to pay for our sins. Just like Jesus by that hotel, you have to pay for our sins. With blood in our eyes, after days of traveling and months of life. What? Taking our thinking various turns at the wheel, taking booze and pot and cigarettes, anything not to feel. That's why I let you guys take shit. No one had eaten, no one had spoke. We were dead, we were drunk, we were stupid, we were broke. But together we dragged all of us down as we staggered through Rome, blaming the town, blaming the students for the worship of others, blaming the cops blaming their brothers and never quite looking ourselves in the heart, and minute by minute growing further apart. And Julia, where have you gone? Why have you vanished off of my lawn? Julia, where's your truck? Why have you vanished with all my luck? But even on the bullfighters, their gravestones in sight, gotta search till they unearth one last bull to fight. And so it was with us, so near to the end, one last story to tell, one last hell to defend, one glance to avoid, one guitar to strum, one untruth to be told, one last song to be sung, and you the most brilliant, most driven, most keen jewel of a bastard I ever have seen. And you in your turn, a good bitch of the night, so real to the end, nothing left to defy, and me in the middle, along for the ride, the unwilling distraction from familial side, and knowing our weaknesses, no one refrained from picking and prodding till nothing remained. Julia, where have you gone? Why have you vanished off of my lawn? Julia, where is your truck? Why did you go off with all of my luck? Now in this kitchen, miles from home, miles from everything, miles from Rome. Rome was a bust, Rome was a scream, Rome was the final rapid eye movement to this dream. We scattered like leaves, like pieces of dust, warriors watching their swords and shields rust. And now as we descend to couches and clocks, to closets and appointments, let us drink to the rocks, let us drink to the sands, to the wheels which have blown us, let's drink to the rivers, let us drink to the road. Julia, where have you gone? Why have you vanished off of my lawn? Julia, where is your truck? Why have you driven with all of my love? If you travel this far from home, careful you don't go through Rome. Carry a good map and some cheese. Make sure you got somebody long and keep you awake on the long night drives. Either that or somebody along who won't talk when you're listening to the radio on the all-night drive. Especially if you get maybe Jack Buck out of St. Louis, even though you're in Memphis. He's got Mark McGuire coming up to bat. And there's one out. It's a ninth inning. There's a man on first. And they got a one-run lead. They don't want to walk him because that'll put the winning run on second base. And you know what that means? A single, bring him in. Maybe even a passed ball. And you're like, wow. This is it, man. I feel alive. I'm in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm about to hear Jack Buck tell me about what they're going to do with the wire. And then it fizzles out. He's like, bravo, man. And you're like, man. I'm going to have to wait till I read about it. Wait all night. Because I have to pretend I'm there. commoditarily accepted recorded works.
Estelle.
Can't do it. You know what I'm gonna do? I had some songs. I was away in Italy. I had some songs that I wrote while I was over there. I wrote a whole mess of them. I wrote like 18 songs. And nothing else. There's nobody to talk to over there. There isn't. You don't speak their language. They don't speak yours. I didn't know that. I thought, I'm gonna be in Italia. And I thought, I will magically speak the, lingua Italia. Whatever it is. Where are you going? Do you have a reservation? Forget about it. Whatever it is. It's fun, I mean, we're practically cousins. Lanzma, paisan, same thing. I'll be fine. So I'm over there and I'm like, of course, I start talking English in an Italian accent. What I think is right, figuring they'll understand. Look at them. It's possible from here with the train to Sorrento. So I had nothing to do. I wrote all these songs, and I learned a bunch of them. There's some I didn't even learn. So I thought, well, I'll play them, some of them. So that's why I have a stand out here. So, now, see, this is a different part of the show here. Now, this is like, just, you're in my room here. Hey, you want to come over? You guys want to come over? Yeah, I got some new tunes. You want to hear them? Oh, okay. The thing, I think there's a possibility. It may not be any good. And I say that not like out of some cloying need for you guys to go, sure they will be. But no, they just might not be because, maybe the ones I learned, like memorized and stuff, maybe I learned them because they were the good ones. It happens. You write a batch, you do a batch of anything. You grow some tomatoes, or some good ones, or some you throw out. But that's like these. Well, can't see me at all, can you? This is actually, this one, this isn't one of those Italian ones. This one I wrote like years ago. I never ever played it, I don't think. Somebody threw the words at me today. So here's this one. No, I'll do that. All right, now, so we're talking about Italy. I mean, I gotta tell you, I wasn't real happy when I was there. So if you're thinking, it seems like, okay, we're all loose, So it's like, oh, he's got the standout, so it's like gonna be fun. It's not necessarily like that. I got the standout, but I think these are really dismal. So I don't know how you're gonna react. I really don't. It'd be great if I got the standout and I had all these really funny songs. You're like, God, he's great in the stand. Okay, so I was in Rome for a while. There's this old drunk guy by the train station. He was there all the time. Well, I'll tell you about this song. He stands one block from the train station on Via Gioberti. You never see him anywhere else, but you always see him there. He's always drinking beer from a bottle and swaying and snapping his fingers. If we could hear the music he hears, Beethoven would be jealous. I got me a little motor scooter and I'm buzzing all around the town. I don't know no one and no one knows me. I'm sleeping through dinner and drinking wine until 2. By then the moon is high in the sky and fat and white like me. I fell in love the very first night that I was here. I crashed a party or a wedding or a birthday, some Catholic thing. There were priests. She caught my eye. I thought we'd be perfect, but we didn't speak. Over and over the last 3 days I've been falling in love this way. I went to the church of San Pietro. They said can't go in your shorts. Next day I wore trousers. They said can't go in those cut-off sleeves. I bought me a dumb soccer shirt and went in and started to listen to a tour guide. He said this is private. I said I'm just standing here. He said you've been following us for half of an hour. I said excuse me, I thought fuck you if I had any thoughts of converting. They're now completely dispelled. I got me a number of someone in Rome, a friend of a friend of a friend. If I called him up, he'd probably show me around and I'd have a great time. He'd take me to nightclubs and find me some hash and I'd meet all of his friends. He'd probably even know some Christians whose parents were eaten by lions. But I don't call 'cause I prefer to stumble around on my own. I often wish I had a friend or a lover along, but then when I do, I wish I was alone. It's perverse, I know. So right now if I'm miserable, I'm only getting just what I deserve. I spent 1 block from the train station on Gioberti. You never see me anywhere else, but you always see me here. What? Well, I don't know. I mean, you guys are going to like these more than other people because you figure, well, you're special because you get to hear them first and maybe only. Which is actually true. You know? Well, so I was in this place called Amalfi. It's on the coast. And there's nothing to do there. And I spent several days there. And, I don't know why I wrote this song. Usually I know exactly why, I can tell you. I don't know why I wrote this one. I was just giddy. I think I was drinking a lot of wine. What's the difference between boys and girls? It takes a little time to materialize. What's the difference between girls and boys? If you shake your head, it's only in your eyes. What's the difference between girls and boys? It's something that I thought a lot about next year. What's the difference between boys and girls? I've heard it's an organ in your inner ear. I've sat next to you on the train and a little bird flew and sat next to me and you. It turned into you and then I wasn't alone anymore. Will you say read in a poem is something about a chromosome. What's the difference between boys and girls? Figured it out one time cause I drank enough wine. What's the difference between dogs and birds? What's the difference when you chop bikini tops into thirds? What's the difference between girls and boys? What's the difference between the last time you brought the new toys? I sat on the steps and waited for someone to come by, and there you were. This one's not really a keeper. It's just weird. Yeah.
You suck!
Yeah, well, so do you. I'm sure, whatever you do. Well, you know. I think the rest of them are just kind of like, you know, like something to. That's what? Look, man, if I'm talking, it's hard enough for me to know what I'm saying. You're talking too. Remember how tired I am? Remember that? Yeah, I remember her. Why? You know something about her? Tell me about her sister. What about her? You know her? Yeah.
Do it last set.
Okay, fuck it, I'll do it. You know? So what if I did it last set? You know? I mean, we're not just here for the repeat customers. Right? All right. Get this out of here. Move into a new phase here. Nice show. I'm in control now. They say you taught me how to talk, that you wish you taught me how to stop. Far away now, wish I could take a walk with you someplace. You explained me to our parents, English wasn't their first language. They spoke German, hated Germans, confusing times. Oh, sister. Down Midwest backseat bumpy streets, you sang my Beatles songs with me. I sang your Broadway melodies, bad harmony. And where would Willie Mays have been without Jackie Robinson? Who can say what I've been without you to lead the way? After I showed some guys I could drink, picked me off the lawn, I think, led me to the kitchen sink, where I got rid of it. Some nights I laid awake in awe, squinting through the dark I saw you peeling off your teenage bra, the door ajar. Oh, sister, you lived just across the hall for 18 summers, 18 falls, till you went away to that weird college in Wisconsin. And where would Willie Mays been without Jackie Robinson? Who can say what I've been without you to lead the way? Trust yourself, and you can do anything. And this I give to you. May your heart purr like a bumblebee. May all your backyards have a tree HIV negative. I hope you meet some nice guy who treats women better than I do. I don't even care if he's a Jew or not. Oh, sister, I remember in the temple hall at our dear father's funeral, you sang like a nightingale, one of his own songs. Where would Willie Mays have been? How Jackie Robinson? Who can say what I've been without you to lead the way? That song in Delaware, it didn't work at all. It was. Jews there didn't understand it. Look, I'm Jews as anybody else, but I don't get these references. This to become that kind of a thing, then you have it. How are you? I kissed the mezuzah and I go in the door. I read me a little Hebrew till 4:15. Down Lone Star beer from my bar mitzvah cup. Put on my phylacteries when I wake up. I'm a Jew from Kentucky, that's what I am. The good Lord foresaw it with his infinite plan. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, forever a Jew with Kentucky, my home. I nosh me a kishka with grits and coleslaw. I'm below that old shofar on Rosh Hashanah. I sing from the Torre while my dog chases footsteps. The neighbors don't like it, but they all are nutnecks. When the rabbi comes by, we drink beer on the lawn. We cheer for the Wildcats with our yarmulke geese on. When he gets up to leave, I say, Rabbi, don't go. You can't drive your pickup on Shabbos, you know. I'm a Jew from Kentucky, that's what I am. The good Lord foresaw it with his infinite plan. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, forever a Jew in Kentucky, my home. Well, my daddy said, son, you stay in New York. Are you mad? You 6. A little study for. When I found me my true love, I said, Daddy, see, I'm married a Jew from Kentucky like me. We're Jews from Kentucky, that's what we are. We drink our mint juleps from a kosher dill jar. Wherever we wander, wherever we roam, Jews from Kentucky is always at home. The Zagazund. I got big balls, big old balls, big as grapefruits, big as pumpkins, yes sir, and on my really good days, they swell to the size of small dogs. My balls are as big as small dogs, well it ain't bragging if it's true, yes sir, it ain't bragging if it's true. Muhammad Ali said that back when he was a young man, back when he was Cassius Clay, before he fought too many fights, left his brain inside the ring. And sometimes I wish I was Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods. Sometimes I wish I was Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods. I got a friend whose goal in life was to one day go down on Madonna. That's all he wanted, that was all, to one day go down on Madonna. And when my friend was 34, he got his wish in Rome one night. He got to go down on Madonna in Rome one night in some hotel. And ever since he's been depressed, his life is shit from here on in. And all our friends just shake their heads and say too soon, too soon, too soon. He went down on Madonna too soon, too young, too soon, too soon. And it ain't bragging if it's true, yes sir, it ain't bragging if it's true. Muhammad Ali said that back when he was a young man, back when he was Cassius Clay, before he fought too many fights, left his brain inside the ring. Sometimes I wish I was Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods. Sometimes I wish I was Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods. If certain girls don't look at you, it means that they like you a lot. If other girls don't look at you, it just means they're ignoring you. How can you know, how can you know which is doing what? I guess that you can ask them, which one are you, baby? Do you like me or are you ignoring me? Do you like me or are you ignoring me? Do you like me or are you ignoring me? And all you need to do that is one good pair of big balls, balls as big as grapefruits, balls as big as pumpkins, balls as big as mine. Even though my balls are big, sometimes I wish they were bigger, even bigger. Big as the wheels on tractors, big as the golden arches, big as the golden gate bridge, big as Gioberti, big as Mars and Jupiter, big as the swing of the Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods. An old friend of mine, I haven't seen him for 10 years. Shows up here last night, comes back tonight. Lives in Chicago. His name is Sleepy Silver. And he asked me to play this one. I said, sure. I forgot all about it. So I'll play it now. It's called Street Television. And he's walking down the street, surveying all the meat. His wife's got a leather wrapped around her feet. He's smoking cigarettes, pinching in fats, sneering at the faggots in their black leather jackets. Are all pretty gay, like John Gay, Gay to least gay, and Wilson John Gacy. There's a real queen, like Hillary Queen, yeah. Set him up behind glass, that faggot man. Exhibit 10 and tag it, man. Jesus told the boss while hanging from the cross, a sandwich is a sandwich, but a manwich is a manwich. Denteen, preteen, Listerine, Visine, Anacin, Allerin, aspirin, pound it in. Take the stuff from Tidy Bone and stuff it in a Tylenol. No matter if some heart goes splatter, low tide, high tide, improved tide, cyanide. Johnny come lately, stately, looking for a backdoor whore to bore through a perforated screen door. He won't wine her, dine her, ocean liner. In return for a minute of sin, her black leather pants won't fix his dinner. But for a well-placed $50 bill, she'll take him upstairs and make him spill. In violence, come, not come. Don't silence nothing said about the pill. In a matter of minutes, I could get you arrested for the transaction you suggested. I could jail you, have you labeled a sinner, unless you care to dance at a rich man's dinner. Can't buy me love, then forget about love. Kiss my money, I broke it, poke it, stroke it, then I fuck my money, fuck my money, fuck my money. Halloween can be the scene of crazy things to do. You can dress up like an Orthodox Jew. You say that we're dumb, then try something bigger. Get a paid position as a kitchen nigger. There's a man whose face caught fire. He's burned up chest of funeral pyre. He's walking this way. He looks dejected. Don't talk to him. You're gonna get infected. Stick your balls in your pretty poly. Follow la la. Leave the gateway else for Jesus. Ha ha ha. Stadium, Palladium, 90 in the shade. Kill your boredom in a video arcade. Go ahead and disagree, but you better shout. You'll need more than just a Walkman to tune me out. Confusion, pollution, get your microchip fixed. When your cord gets cut, you'll be picking up sticks. So hypnotize yourself like a shell-shocked mole. Before too long, you will bury your soul. And he's walking down the street, surveying all the meat. His wife's got a leather wrapped around her feet. He's smoking cigarettes, pinching in fats. Life and death in his every breath. 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 I don't know what made me go out that night. At that hour I'd normally been in bed, but I found myself looking up at the sky in a very bright light straight overhead. Flash green, then red. Santa Claus colors. I stood there frozen in that light. I started hearing this kind of a whir. The lights got louder and the noise got brighter, and I felt a sudden chill. Bird. It's cold. I shouldn't have got out of that coat. Mom's right again. And this big old spaceship floated down and hovered 3 feet above the earth. Never been so scared in all my life. Could have given spontaneous birth. I was a woman, pregnant. And these 2 little guys, about 4 feet tall, jumped off that space-age Greyhound bus. They grabbed me by the arms and said, "Start walking, Dan, you're coming with us." Abduction. They didn't actually speak, but I 35-foot-long hose. Well, this time was 70-foot-long. Same thing happened. They examined me from head to toe, stuck prods in every orifice. This cold gray box come and gave me a kiss, extracted a couple quarts of piss. Felt dehydrated, Felt dehydrated. And they tied this thing around the head. So now we're reading your brain, see? Got an awful lot of songs in there. Seems they're all in the key of G. So what about Marilyn? That's in D. So, yeah, D flat or something. So yeah, 2.5 steps, it's in D flat. They said, well, that's early in D then, isn't it? Right? What about Hannibal? I said, yeah, what about Hannibal? I said, well, technically it's G, but it's really a drop D tune he capoed up. They said, how come you don't play the harmonica more? I said, how come I'm in a spaceship talking to aliens about my act here? They said, hey, we'll talk physics, but you're illiterate there. I couldn't argue. They dropped me someplace in Brazil. Took a month to get back to the USA. When I told my friends what I'd been through, no one believed what I had to say. It sucked. It's to be expected, I guess. Most people think Hannibal is in normal tuning. And they say, did you meet Ronaldo? I said, no. They said, well. So my life's back to normal now. I do the things I always do. So once a week, I meet with 12 other folks who've been abducted too. I tell my story, they tell theirs. I don't believe them, though. The only thing weird about it is that a year ago I never thought I'd paint anything again. And I decided I wasn't gonna ever paint again. It didn't bother me too much. Warhol's dead, David Hockney's still alive. I don't need to paint. I painted over 10,000 paintings. Sad ones, funny ones, dark ones, and light ones. I've done haystacks, rich old ladies by their pools wearing nothing but a scar. I painted everything there was to paint. Now it's time to sit back, give interviews, hang out at Club Med, take stock of what I've done. You know, the best friend I ever had was a dog. It sounds like a cliche, unless it's happened to you. Some days that dog was the only reason I even got out of bed. That dog went everywhere with me. Then I heard that crack addicts were stealing dogs and selling them for animal research. Sounded like an urban myth to me, like the mouse and the coke bomb, but I started leaving it at home after that. You know, Paula was my wife for a while. She ran off to Paris with the great-grandson of Van Gogh, cartoonist who did fashion graphics for Le Monde. When Paula left, she took my dog. I never saw her get a set in court during the custody battle. She won and got to keep the dog, and I didn't speak to anyone for months. You know, sometimes it feels like there's so much that you need. Sometimes the world is upside down. Sometimes it feels like the only thing you need is holding someone's hand as you walk through town. to run a poker game back east. Now he's a little coffee shop, sells cappuccino to his old pals, Tommy Chicago and Jimmy the Wig and Ugly Rose. You know, the best person I ever knew was this Mormon woman named Estelle. She still calls me drunk every few months and asks me stuff I don't want to talk about. You can't talk to her long unless you're drunk yourself. Then we go all night. She goes, why, baby, why, baby, why, baby, why you turned your back on love? You had so many chances, why did you let them all go by? Well, one morning I was sitting outside of Dino's place with Jake the Shears, a guy from Philly who does free mohawks. We were waiting, I was hoping some other painters would come by so I could give them some advice. Yeah, I was sitting there updating my list of enemies when this girl walks in and the universe kind of stopped. Turned out she drank the same tea I did. Don't think more than that to start a conversation sometimes. She believed collage was the greatest of all the arts and was busy pasting pictures of horses next to ads for laundry soap next to Muhammad Ali. She had a turquoise in her ear and said Rachmaninoff was always playing in her head. Later that day I was trying to describe her to Jimmy the Wig. Couldn't find the words and I realized I started to sketch her chin. Well, somehow it didn't look right. I sketched it out and tried again. Threw it away after I filled the whole pad. I didn't even get close. For 6 days I sat at Dino's place. The rain wouldn't come and no one came in. Finally on the 7th day it cleared and in she walked. I asked her to sit with me and I bought her a cup of tea and I asked her to model for me sometime. That afternoon I was at a canvas. She was wearing a yellow dress. I swore she'd let me, I'd get it right. I painted over 10,000 paintings. Sad, one's funny, one's dark, one's light, one's. I was sitting there, it was like I couldn't even write my own name. I apologize, said it's been a few months. If you have patience, I get the hang of it again. In the next few weeks, I painted her hundreds of times. If I get the nose right, the chin's too long. If I get them both right, the face is too thin. But I keep after it, and one day I'll get it all right. Still out this morning. My throat lies on top of a copy of Tropical Cancer. The only thing funny about it is that last year I never thought I'd paint again. I think I might go visit Estelle. Those Utah mountains are good for the soul. I'll bring my brushes and some Jack Daniels and we can make up for lost time. She goes, why, baby, why, baby, why, baby, why have you turned your back on love? You had so many chances, why have you let them all go by? Why, baby, why, baby, why, baby, why have you turned your back on love? You had so many chances, why have you let them all go by? Why, baby, why have you turned your back on love? You had so many chances, why'd you let them all go by? Why, baby, why, baby, why, baby, why have you turned your back on love? You had so many chances, why'd you let them all go by? Sometimes it feels like there's so much you need. Sometimes the world is upside down. Sometimes it feels like the only thing you need is holding someone's hand as you walk through town. Holding someone's hand as you walk through town. Alright. I never played this ever. It's probably the only time I ever will. It's probably a good thing, too. Dodgers had stayed in Brooklyn, maybe things would be different today. Maybe John F. Kennedy would have been president till 1968. I don't know, I wasn't born yet, I was just wondering, hope that's okay. Dodgers had stayed in Brooklyn, maybe things would be different today. Maybe we'd spend our money different, like making sure some kid doesn't have 45 other kids in his 3rd grade class. Maybe every automobile would get 115 miles to a gallon of gas, if we even used gas. You'd have a job when you were strong, or a meal when you were hungry, or a year when you had something to say. Maybe if everything would be different, if the Dodgers hadn't moved out to LA. If the Dodgers had stayed in Brooklyn, maybe Watergate would just be some obscure hotel. 10 Union Square would be just a square. Vietnam, some vacation spot for some travel agency to try to sell. Maybe Jesus would have come for the 2nd time by now. For the 1st time, depending how you feel about that stuff. Maybe everything would have been different. The Dodgers had decided Ebbets Field was enough. I don't know, you might say, everything would be exactly the same. I can't prove I'm right, neither can you. But if one kind heart leads to another kind heart, what do you think one greedy heart can do? Dodgers had stayed in Brooklyn, maybe things would be different today. Maybe a man without pride or compassion would be as unknown as a river that runs the wrong way. I don't know, I'm just speculating, I wasn't born yet, I wasn't even on the map. But maybe everything Dodgers still the Salesman is my favorite play. But Marilyn Monroe should have married Henry Miller. And if she did, she might be alive. 'Cause if she did, he'd have taken her to Paris. And if she did, they'd have fucked every day. And okay, maybe she'd have died the same anyway, but if she did, she'd have had more fun. Oh, Henry Miller. Oh, Marilyn Monroe. Oh, Henry Miller. Oh, Marilyn Monroe. When I tell you that I love you, don't test my love. Accept my love. Don't test my love. 'Cause maybe I don't love you all that much. Don't ask what kind of music I'm gonna play tonight. Just stay a while, hear for yourself a while. And if you must put me in a box, make sure it's a big box with lots of windows and a door to walk through and a nice high chimney, so we can burn, burn, burn everything that we don't like and watch the ashes fly up to heaven, maybe all the way to India. I'd like that. All the ancient kings came to my door. They said, "You want to be an ancient king too?" I said, "Oh yes, very much. But I think my timing's wrong." They said, "Time is relative." Or did you misread Einstein? I said, "You really mean it?" They said, "What do you think we come here for? A goddamn health or something?" Everybody's waiting for the Messiah. Jews are waiting, Christians are waiting, also the Muslims. It's like everybody's waiting. They've been waiting a long time. I know how I hate to wait, like even for a bus or something, an important phone call. So I can just imagine how darn impatient everybody must be getting. So I think it's time now, time to reveal myself. I am a Messiah, I am a Messiah. Yes, I think you heard me right. I am the Messiah. I was gonna wait till next year, build up the suspense a little, make it a really big surprise, but I could not resist. It's like when you get a really big secret, you just burst in to tell someone. It was sort of like that with this. And now that I've told you, I feel this great weight lifted. Dr. Nussbaum was right. He's my therapist. He said, "Get it out in the open." I spent 10 whole days in Jerusalem. Jerusalem, sweet Jerusalem. And all I ate was olives, nothing but olives, mountains of olives. It was a good 10 days. I like olives. I like you too. So when I tell you that I love you, don't test my love. Accept my love. Don't test my love. 'Cause maybe I don't love you. Maybe I don't love you. Maybe I don't love you all that much. They look for the missing link. There ain't no missing link. They think they're gonna find the missing link. There's no missing link. We're not something you can figure out with an equation. We are the genetic mutation. Aliens came and fucked the monkey. They fucked the monkey. Aliens came and fucked the monkey. They fucked the monkey. Darwin tried explaining it. Darwin did the best he could. Evolution, pretty theory. But how could Darwin know that aliens came and fucked the monkey? They fucked the monkey. Aliens came and fucked the monkey. They fucked the monkey. How else explain fax machines? How else explain digital remastering? How else explain computer enhancement? How else explain the ever-ready bunny? We do not belong here. This planet was a terrarium. Evolution. We gotta go to outer space and one day find our daddy. How else explain pay at the pump? How else explain Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa, Greg Vaughn, and Griffey all in the same year? How else explain the fact that during this baseball season, suddenly everybody has gotten all concerned and stirred up and wondering and curious about the 1902 Pirates? How else explain that last game by Michael Jordan, huh? How else explain the French? Just in general. Astronomy, astrology that looks to the stars. We do not belong here. This planet was a terrarium. 7 billion bastards screaming for their daddy. Aliens came and fucked the monkey. They fucked the monkey. Fuck the monkey, they fucked and sing a long time. Aliens came and fuck the monkey, they fucked the monkey. Come on, let's worry Alan a little bit. We've all been so polite. Let's make him worry that you're gonna spill out into the streets of Greenville singing this song. Aliens came and fucked the monkey, they fucked the monkey. We did this in Fargo, we spilled out into the streets singing this song. Fargo, North Dakota, we had 5 cops suddenly. And suddenly they started singing, aliens came and fucked the monkey, they fucked the monkey. Aliens came and fucked the monkey, they fucked the monkey. With it. Aliens came and fucked the monkey, they fucked the monkey. Aliens came and fucked the monkey, they fucked the monkey. Aliens came and fucked the monkey, they fucked the monkey. Aliens came and fucked the monkey, they fucked the monkey. Who came? Aliens came and fucked the monkey, they fucked the monkey. all the songs I do are really just for the kids. It's true. The old farts are gonna be dead, eh? It doesn't gonna be matter if they know my songs. I want to infect the children. You know when parents are like queasy about bringing their kids to my show? Well, you know why they're queasy? They're afraid they're gonna dig it. This is what I figured. You stopped. Oh well. I was hoping you'd serenade me right out of here. Oh, you don't have to. It sounds kind of awful when you start up again. It's like Las Vegas on Sunday morning. So it's okay. I got one more for you. So sad, the news that come our way this morning. Like a bad dream, a dream you never even talk about. In a school where we send our precious children. The one place of innocence the world might ever let them know. And barely aware of the odds against existence in the first place, of love and fertility, of risk of a baby being born, of food and clothes and maybe even relocation, of sickness recovery, of music lessons, painting the garage, and lingering over eggs and thoughts and sleepy conversation. Plans for the weekend, one last pause to pet the dog, and a glance at the clock and the grabbing of the sandwich and the notebook. Confident of nothing but the unbroken days that they've been granted. But comes a child so full of anger and hatred, barely aware of the genesis coursing in his veins. With a gun, deaf and blind deliverer of madness, skilled in its efficiency beyond his own unformulated brain. And his hand in a knot, and his soul unclenched, and his heart racing. And his mind sick with images, his slim shoulders finally feeling tall. And his fellow creatures, school kids and their crushes and their daydreams, struggling to unwrap the ancient secrets of geometry. And he pulls from his coat the instrument to shatter all forever, in a random blaze of insides and blood and endless now. And and noise and flash, and again they're not even when it's over. Can any of them so much as summon up the sanity to scream? And on the floor, his classmates blown down and choking. As he lays his weapon on his desk, partly sure he isn't dreaming. And all the world descends to offer their condolence, to offer up their theories, what went wrong and who and why and when and how. It's all the killing, day and night on television. It's all the movies where violence is as natural as breathing. It's guns and bullets as easily gotten as candy. It's video games where you kill and begin to think it's real. It's people not having God in their lives anymore. Or it's all of it or none of it, or some of it in various combinations. Now all those theories sound pretty logical, I guess. Though I ain't no scientist, I ain't no dissector of statistics. I ain't no biologist, no. I ain't no biologist or contortionist. All I can do is offer up a prayer of my own. Talk to your kids, play with your kids, tell them your dreams and your disappointments. Listen to your kids and listen with your kids. Watch your kids. Have your kids watch you. Tell your kids the truth, best as you can tell it. There's no use telling lies. Your kids can always smell it. Cook for your kids. Have your kids cook for you. Sing with your kids. Teach your kids the blues. Learn their games. Teach them yours. Touch your kids. Find out what they know. Be sad with your kids. Be stupid with your kids. Embarrass your kids. Let them embarrass you. Be strong with your kids. Be tough with your kids. Be firm with your kids. Say no to your kids. Say yes to your kids. Take it easy on your kids. You were a kid not so long ago. There's things you know your kids will never know. There's places they live where you will never go. So dance with your kids, paint with your kids, walk with your kids, tell stories with your kids. One day your kids won't be kids. Maybe they'll have kids of their own, and so they talk to their kids, play with their kids, tell them their dreams and their disappointments.